Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And today is a recap of the last two AMAs in case you didn't catch them. Both of them were just around or just over 2 hours. So there was a lot of additional tidbits dropped. If you followed any other AMAs, there may not be anything new for you, but I like to dig in between the weeds and find some stuff and reference the thumbnail. He did drop the bomb on exactly how much, not exactly, but a better approximation of how much money he has. And I'm going to share that after we go over the AMA notes. So if you're not familiar, we had the AMA with Dan Passive Income. That one's on his channel. And then the most recent one we had with the Crypto Cat on his channel. So I'm going to be using the notes from Wonder Woman, I believe, to cover some of the stuff and go over this really quickly because, like I said, a lot of it, if you heard one AMA or you watched any of the other YouTuber recaps, such as myself or anyone else, you should have gotten this. But in Dan's AMA, the biggest alpha that was dropped in here was about the game. So Dan went in depth as much as he could to ask more questions about the Dogs of Fortune game. And Forex gave a little more idea of just how much time and effort is being put in this game and how it's meant to be its own standalone thing as it's always been designed by him. And then now with the utility being added to the PIGGY, he thinks it's going to be a much bigger game and success than it would have been on its own. So if you're not familiar, blockchain games, decided to pull this up. Here's some specifically in the simulation space. I don't know what space or genre this will actually fall into, so I just picked simulation. But you can see they all have rather, not all, but these have decent market caps. And if you look at the games as a whole genre, you have some really high market cap games in blockchain. So multi-million-dollar games. So I have no idea where this will fall, but if it's a game like he's mentioning and what it sounds as fun as it can be, then this does have a lot of potential to bring in people that are not even affiliated with DeFi and just into gaming, but people that are in DeFi and not into ROI dApps or anything like that, not into staking, just want to play games. Like there's an entire suite of people that can come over just by that. So definitely listen to the AMA if you want to catch the notes more specifically on highlights for the Dogs of Fortune game. Next up, we got into a little bit about his strategy about when the farms open up. And the biggest thing he said, if he were brand new, what he would do is go straight into dogs when the dogs open up in the farm and build up your position there due to the loyalty score and the wallet score. So that's what he said he would start with, and then also build a pig pen position. So some cool insight into his investor mindset that we'll go into also in the other AMAs, but he said the big play is jumping into dogs, and that's how he play it. Next up, he also mentioned that there's going to be a wiki. So that will help a lot of the FUD that if you've seen, and most people reference the white paper, which was written by a community member based on the original design of Drip. And they always reference that and say, well, this is a lie because Drip is not deflationary, and it says it's deflationary. And it says it's going to be a max of 1 million tokens, and now it's almost 2 million. So having a wiki will help because it will be able to be live and updated in real time versus a static PDF that isn't updated and that was created before all these additional use cases came in. So that will be huge to help people understand how the ecosystem works. And also, as things change and get updated, it's much easier to update a wiki than it will be a static PDF. So I think that's awesome. Also, he mentioned having the new UI up for Drip by the end of this week. Or no, sorry, not for Drip. Sorry. New UI up for the Animal Farm by the end of this week. And should be putting out some of the highlights or clips or images for the Dogs of Fortune game. That should come out this week as well. So next we move over to the Crypto Cat. And again, using Wonder Woman's notes, so shout out to Wonder Woman. The big thing in this one was a lot of Forex's history. So you guys know I'm big on understanding the person and the character behind the brand. And shout out to Nick, he went into that. So this was a much more personal dive as was the end of Dan's Passive Income, more about Forex, which to me is great. A lot of people aren't interested in that kind of stuff, but that's exactly the narrative I like to push, to really find out who he is and what motivates and drives him. And that way you can get an idea of who you're investing in and why. Again, if you look at any of the bigger companies, you know, Steve Jobs and Microsoft, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, these are all visionaries. And it's not about them having the skills to build whatever it is they build. It's them having the vision and people believing in that vision. And that's all you need. All you need is one leader. You know? So I think by understanding Forex's mindset, personality, that can give you a much better decision-making process than just looking at the contracts. That's me personally. All right, what else did we learn? We learned that he has 2 dogs and they're adopted from a local shelter. One's named Dude. It's an Irish Wolfhound and Shepherd mix, if I remember correctly. And the ankle biter that you actually hear in all the AMAs is Pikachu. And if anybody knows anything about small dogs, yes, they have small dog anger issues and always want to be heard and seen and exert their little dominance on everyone. So that dog's name is Pikachu. Dog's crediting, he mentioned a little bit. I didn't realize this, but he said there'll be a countdown again when the animal farm goes live. So on the 18th, there'll be a countdown. And then 30 minutes prior to that countdown, he will actually launch the dog token so that you can actually buy the dog token prior to the farm going live. So that's kind of cool. And last, what you guys really want to know is how much is Forex's net worth? Well, I want you to hear that straight from the horse's mouth because I had to actually rewind it and listen to it twice because I was like, did I catch that correctly? So let's play that clip. But before we play that clip, just want to give you some preface to what's in here. He's actually also talking about his investor mindset and how he wants people to realize that you should be looking to invest in assets that pay you dividends so you continue to compound the assets and get more of those assets and only live off the dividends. And he tells you that he personally looks at things that give him 3 to 5% annually so that he never has to sell his dividends. And he referenced IBM stock. But later on in this, you'll actually hear how much he makes, and he just kind of casually throws it out there. And Nick doesn't even pick up on it. I had to rewind it twice to listen to it. So let's get into that real quick. Just a quick message. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That does help the channel as well as help bring brand awareness to all Forex Shark related projects. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know, one of those great things.
My long-term strategy, and this of course is just my strategy, it's not advice for anybody, but I like to get into investments that have strong fundamental value and a solid roadmap, and then I continue to accumulate assets and compound my position in these assets, and I look for dividend generating and yield generating assets. This way I can survive mostly off the dividends, and I tend to you know, it's going to vary based on your position and your risk tolerance, but I tend to look for 3 to 5% a year that I take as profit from my investments, and the rest I compound, the rest of the dividends and the rest of the appreciation I compound back into the asset. And this is how I've been able to accumulate my wealth, and how I went from a position of being you know, having $2,000 that my parents gave me to trade options to now being you know, a multi-deca, you know, millionaire.
I don't know if you caught that, so I'm going to play it back again just real quick because that is extremely important.
That my parents gave me to trade options to now being you know, a multi-deca, you know, millionaire.
So he said multi-deca millionaire. Now, I didn't even actually know this. I know deca means 10, but I didn't even know this term exists. So for those of you that were in the same boat as me, a deca millionaire, and let's preface that not only with deca millionaire, but he said multi-deca millionaire. So a deca millionaire is a term used for someone with a net worth of over $10 million. So in order for him to say multi, he must have at least 2. So he has at least $20 million to his net worth or bank account, whatever you want to call it. And another thing you may have just missed in this AMA, he mentioned that he started his Forex trading and options trading basically by borrowing or getting money from his parents, but essentially they had to sign the account for him. He was underage, so he was still in high school. So he had $2,000. So we don't know his exact age. I have some speculations. I put his age around 35 to 38, and that's based off of some data that I have. I have a closer number, but I'm not going to give that to you guys. But anyway, point being is that in less than 20 years, he went from $2,000 to at least $20 million. So like if you are worried about the funds in the animal farm and all that stuff like that, and you have that all that FUD, Forex built himself an empire on his own trading Forex, and he has a system. He built the actual code and the bot and stuff to run this so that he can continue to make this based off of trade signals. So literally he's building these other things that we're using, Drip, Animal Farm, Piggy Bank, all this stuff as a means of literally, like he said, bringing the traditional financial vehicles to DeFi, because he sees the barrier to entry and the issues in centralized finance keeping out the people who need it most. So again, Deca Millionaire, which is a mic drop in my opinion. But I'm going to finish up with his investor mindset. There's like another minute and 40 seconds just so you guys can understand that.
You have to get into solid assets, and you can't, active trading can be done by a very, very small percentage of people, and it's almost all insiders and people that have a regulatory advantage. That's who's making money when it comes to trading. So if you want to make money in the long term, it's about accumulating assets, earning yield through dividends, or earning yield through leverage, and then taking some small percentage as a cash flow, that profit, and using the rest to compound back into these strong assets. And it's really the long-term holders and the people with a vision that are actually the ones that are doing well in crypto. It's the people that bought Bitcoin at $100 and sold it for a 5x. They probably felt great at the time, but the people who continue to accumulate their position in Bitcoin, continuing to DCA and taking out their 3 to 5% annually, or maybe for you it's 3 to 5% monthly, but really you want to ensure that the vast majority of capital is continuing to accumulate these strong assets. Those are the people that actually built wealth.
There you have it. Once again, he explains how you should be looking at these systems that he's building, and he also has the proof that he's done so. And a Deca Millionaire, I have never met one, haven't met Forex, but yeah, that is definitely a large amount of capital. And then, like he said, he takes out 3 to 5%, and that's off of the earnings. So I have no idea where he has his assets set up, but you can definitely live a comfortable life off of 3 to 5% of assets that are sitting at $20 million annually. So, and not to mention that they continue to accumulate more of those assets. So if you want to know what to do with the animal farm and Drip, like they say, swim with the whales, and he's creating a system where literally all you have to do is follow exactly what he laid out. It's not even complicated. Just get in and continue to improve your position, and then basically compound in more than you claim, and you'll be perfectly fine. It's really that simple. All right, so I hope that was of interest to you all. I thought that was fascinating personally. So I will do some other stuff that he mentioned in this AMA that I thought was extremely insightful as well. I'll cover that in other videos. But again, if you like that kind of content, please like, subscribe. We're still pushing our way to 3K. Thank you to all those who have subscribed. And until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See you guys.